The Grand Slam of North American wild sheep has been around since Grancel Fitz coined the phrase some 65 years ago. Not quite a decade later, the Grand Slam Club was founded by Bob Householder in 1956. Considering these dates of yesteryear, one would think this lifetime achievement would have lost some of its luster. Those here tonight, however, know the Grand Slam is as important today as it was to Grancel Fitz so many years ago. He wrote an article way back then, and there have been thousands of articles since. Every single documented Grand Slam has been important, and tonight we're honoring many men and women who've completed their Grand Slams within the last couple of years. We'll be breaking this large number of Grand Slammers into groups, so please hold your applause until everyone in each group has been introduced. As your name is called, please quickly make your way to the stage. Now for our first group. Brad Black of Alliance, Ohio, became Grand Slammer number 1653 in September 2010 after taking a California Bighorn from southern British Columbia. 12 years earlier, in 1998, Brad took his first North American ram, which was a stone from the Canaskin Lake area of northern BC. In September 2007, Brad was able to connect with the Desert Bighorn from West Texas, and his Dall sheep was from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT. Even though Brad completed his Grand Slam several years ago, he asked us to wait and recognize him this year because of the multiple slams he's completed. You saw his Super Slam last night, and you'll be hearing much more from him tonight and tomorrow night as well. From Kimberly, Idaho comes Dan Kluth, who holds Grand Slam number 1760. When Dan first joined GSCO, he documented a three-quarter slam which included a 1994 California Bighorn from his home state of Idaho, a Dall sheep from Alaska taken in 1999, and a dark Fannin from the Yukon taken in 2003. Along the way, as Dan worked toward completing his Grand Slam, he was able to take a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Idaho in 2005 and a stone sheep from British Columbia in 2010. Finally, on December 12, 2012, Dan completed his 18-year Grand Slam quest with a Desert Bighorn from Sonora, Mexico. You're going to see a span of 24 years between the first ram and the Grand Slam ram for Kevin Williams of Coleman, Alberta. The first photo is of a young Kevin in 1989 with his stone sheep from the province of British Columbia. Even though Kevin hunted bighorns through the years near his home in Alberta, we chose to use his October 2005 self-guided Rocky Mountain Bighorn. In 2006, Kevin hunted Dall sheep in the Ruby Range of the Yukon and was successful taking a beautiful, solid white ram. Finally, in January 2013, Kevin traveled all the way from his home in Alberta, south all the way down Mexico way, and completed his Grand Slam with a fine Sonora ram. Gary Dreschel of Worley, Idaho, completed Grand Slam number 1788 with a Desert Ram from Sonora. He took that ram in February 2010. Along the way, he took an Alaska Dall in 2006. A home state Rocky Mountain Bighorn was taken along the Salmon River in 2007, and a stone sheep was taken along the Prophet River drainage in British Columbia in 2008. Zeke Stanton of Ely, Nevada earned the right to Grand Slam number 1801 when he took a Dall sheep from the Ogilvie Mountains of the Yukon in August 2013. Zeke's first ram was a self-guided Desert Bighorn taken in the Pancake Range of Nevada in 2004. In 2010, Zeke took another self-guided hunt, but this time in Idaho, and was able to connect with a California Bighorn. Zeke took his first guided hunt when he went after his stone sheep, and he connected with a great ram in 2012. Randy Luth of Minnesota has been issued number 1812 as he completed that Grand Slam on December 28, 2013 with a Sonora, Mexico Desert Ram. Randy's three-quarter slam ram was an Alberta Bighorn in October 2013. In 2012, he got his stone, so interestingly, Randy's last three sheep were taken in 15 months. His first ram was an Alaska Dall in 2007, and maybe you noticed that he took that ram with an AR-type rifle. Well, there's a reason for that, as Randy is the founder of the well-known DPMS Panther Arms, one of the largest AR-15 rifle producers in the country. Chris Culbertson of Deer Park, Washington, was very faithful about documenting his sheep all along the way. Chris registered his stone sheep from British Columbia and a Dall sheep from Alaska, both taken in 2007. Chris moved up to being a three-quarter slammer in September 2010 with a California Bighorn from his home state. Chris became Grand Slammer number 1816 when he took a Desert Bighorn from Sonora, Mexico in February 2014. Our next Grand Slammer is from Watertown, South Dakota, and he's famed artist Joshua Spies, who holds Grand Slam number 1818. Josh's four sheep, which comprise his Grand Slam, begins with a 1989 Dall sheep taken from Alaska. His stone sheep followed in 2001 when he hunted in British Columbia. Josh's Rocky Mountain Bighorn came in September 2011 on a self-guided hunt in the Black Hills of his home state of South Dakota. The Desert Bighorn that completed his Grand Slam was taken in February of 2014. And we'd also like to add that Josh has taken an additional Dall sheep in 1992 and a Fannin sheep from the Yukon in 2010. It was a bit over 26 years from the time James Stewart from Edmonton, Alberta took his first ram until he completed his Grand Slam number 1819. In 1987, James took his home province Bighorn near Grand Cache. Next, James took his Dall sheep from NWT in 1990. James' stone sheep was taken in British Columbia in 1991, and he completed his Grand Slam in 2014 with a South Baja Desert Bighorn. It was with a bow and arrow that Mark Cupatilli of San Antonio, Texas, took four rams that qualified him for Grand Slam number 1821. Mark became the 56th person to document an archery Grand Slam. Mark's first ram was a Dall sheep from NWT, taken in 2008. His stone sheep was taken from BC in August 2010. An Alberta Bighorn got him to archery three-quarter slam status in November 2011. Mark's final ram was a Desert Bighorn taken from South Baja, which he took in March 2014. Robert Bob Sydenham of Edmonton, Alberta, is the next Grand Slammer we want to honor tonight. Bob's first ram was a Dall sheep taken from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT in July 2000. Only a month later, in August 2000, Bob hunted in British Columbia and was able to connect with a stone sheep. Bob waited another 5 years and became a three-quarter slammer after taking a home province Alberta Bighorn on a self-guided hunt in 2005. Bob was the winner of the Raffle-Rama three-quarter slam drawing at the 2014 GSCO convention. In March of the same year, he hunted with Ejido La Purísima to get his Desert Bighorn and become Grand Slammer number 1822. That concludes this group of Grand Slammers. Let's give everyone in this group a big hand. Robert Rice of Lethbridge, Alberta, has been a longtime member of GSCO. As a matter of fact, Robert joined us back in January 2000, and at the same time, he documented a three-quarter slam, plus an additional Dall sheep. Those rams were a Dall from NWT in July 1985, an Alberta Bighorn from 1995, a BC Stone from 1996, and an additional Dall sheep from NWT in 1990. Since then, Robert documented Grand Slam number 1824 with an Arizona Desert Bighorn, which was taken in 2012. Robert didn't stop there because he took another desert in 2013 from the Vizcaíno biosphere. It's a pleasure now to recognize Rebecca Francis of Evanston, Wyoming. You're going to find out a little later about the fact that Rebecca took Grand Slam number 1830 with her bow. She also becomes Lady Grand Slammer number 60. For now, we want to tell you that first for Rebecca was her home state Wyoming Bighorn from August 2008. She must have gotten the archery sheep bug pretty bad because in August 2011, she traveled to Alaska where she arrowed a huge Dall. In 2013, she took a wide, flaring desert ram from Utah. And in August 2014 is when Rebecca found magic. She was hunting in BC and using her pink-trimmed bow and arrows, she completed her Grand Slam. She's going to make a very nice addition to the group photo with all these men. From Windsor, Colorado, you will see Blaine St. James, who has been permanently assigned Grand Slam number 1831 after documenting a Rocky Mountain bighorn taken on a self-guided archery hunt in his home state in 2014. What a way to finish a Grand Slam. Blaine took his first Dall sheep from Alaska in 2007. Next, he hunted in British Columbia in 2009 and was able to take a fine dark stone sheep. At this point in Blaine's sheep hunting career, he decided to hunt another Dall in Alaska and was successful in 2011. In 2012, Blaine hunted self-guided on New Mexico's White Sands Missile Range, getting a fantastic desert bighorn. Blaine was successful in obtaining a Utah Desert Bighorn tag, and he filled it in 2013 on a self-guided hunt. If you were counting, you now know that Blaine not only has one Grand Slam, but is halfway towards his second with the Dall and Desert already under his belt. Ray Alt of Livingston, Montana now holds Grand Slam number 1832. Ray started sheep hunting way back in 1968 when he got his first of 5 Rocky Mountain bighorns. Along the way, Ray took a desert bighorn in Nevada during 1990, and then he got an Alaskan Dall in 1999. So all Ray needed was a stone sheep to complete his Grand Slam. Ray decided to join up for our Super Slam raffle in October 2011 and try his luck. Well, our 2013 convention rolled around, and at our Saturday night banquet, we were having 3 drawings on our Super Slam raffle. Would you believe that Ray's name was drawn for the stone sheep, which would give him his Grand Slam? Ray went on to take that stone sheep from British Columbia in August 2014 to complete his long-awaited quest. Our next Grand Slammer is Kevin Musil of Sparwood, British Columbia, who now holds Grand Slam number 1837. Kevin's first ram was a Rocky Mountain bighorn taken self-guided in southeastern British Columbia in 1979. Kevin's Dall sheep was taken from extreme northwestern British Columbia in 1985 on another self-guided hunt. Kevin's first guided hunt was a desert bighorn taken from Mexico during March 2012. Kevin's desert ram was a hunt he won in a roundabout way through the Super Slam raffle. Kevin had won a moose hunt and a stone sheep hunt in the raffle, but decided to trade them in on his desert hunt. Once again, Kevin hunted self-guided in British Columbia and was able to anchor a stone ram to complete his Grand Slam in August 2014. Hank Auza of Yuma, Arizona became Grand Slammer number 1839 by virtue of a Rocky Mountain bighorn taken in Alberta during September 2014. Hank's sheep hunting career started in the Kofa Range of Arizona in December 2000 when he took a desert bighorn. In July 2008, Hank was able to take a Yukon Dall. He hunted in British Columbia during August 2012 and scored with a stone sheep. Our next 2 Grand Slammers fall into the category of completing their slams in a way that very few people do. That is, by taking a Dall sheep as their 4th and final ram for the Grand Slam. Ryder Knowlton of Marietta, Georgia, took a Dall sheep in the Brooks Range in September 2014 to become Grand Slammer number 1841. Ryder's first North American ram was a stone sheep from British Columbia, taken in August 2010. Ryder's desert bighorn came from South Baja during January 2011. A California bighorn from British Columbia was taken by Ryder in October 2012 to get him to 3/4 slam status, just waiting on that Dall ram. It was also a Dall sheep that completed Grand Slam number 1842 for Greg Massini of Sheffield, Massachusetts. Greg's final ram was taken in the Yukon. Backing up, his first ram was a Rocky Mountain bighorn taken in Colorado in September 2006. In December 2010, Greg got his desert bighorn in Nevada. Greg became a 3/4 slammer after taking a stone sheep from the Yukon in August 2012. It was with archery equipment that Ed DeYoung of Hudsonville, Michigan, took 4 rams that qualified him for Grand Slam number 1845. You'll be seeing him again later this evening when we honor the archery Grand Slammers separately. Ed's first ram was a stone sheep that he arrowed in the Yukon during August 2000. His bighorn came from Alberta's Bow Zone in November 2008. A Dall sheep from NWT got Ed to his archery 3/4 slam in July of 2010. Ed's final ram was a desert bighorn taken on Carmen Island in October 2014. Actually, Ed was the high bidder for that opportunity at our 2014 convention. Thomas Lundgren of Morrill, Nebraska holds documented Grand Slam number 1848. As most people do, Thomas started with a Dall sheep, which was taken in August 2001. 3 years later, Thomas got his stone sheep in British Columbia. In 2005, after 25 years of applying for a Wyoming bighorn, Thomas finally drew an Area 5 and took a self-guided Rocky Mountain bighorn. Thomas applied in 5 states for more than 20 years with no success for the Desert Bighorn, so he decided to book a hunt in Mexico and completed his Grand Slam with a Desert Bighorn on Carmen Island in January 2014. It was more than 23 years from start to finish for Grand Slammer number 1849, Archie Joe Smith of Benson, Arizona. Joe started in December 1990 with a home state Desert Bighorn taken on a self-guided hunt in the Castle Dome Mountains. 18 years later, on another self-guided hunt in Arizona, Joe took his Rocky Mountain Bighorn from the White Mountains. In September 2010, Joe hunted in NWT's Mackenzie Mountains and got his Dall sheep. Finally, Joe took his stone ram in British Columbia in September 2014. That concludes this group of Grand Slammers. Let's give everyone in this group a big hand. Our next Grand Slammer didn't have to travel very far tonight to accept his award for Grand Slam number 1850. He's Tom Rice from right here in Sparks, Nevada. Tom started his Grand Slam quest in October 2004 with a home state Desert Bighorn. In August 2007, he hunted in British Columbia, where he took his stone ram. Next for Tom was a Dall sheep taken in the Yukon in August 2008. And finally, Tom completed his Grand Slam in October 2014 by taking another home state ram, which was a California Bighorn. Gus Maxfield of Austin, Minnesota is Grand Slammer number 1851. Gus qualified after taking a Desert Bighorn from Arizona in December 2013 after drawing a coveted tag in the South Trego Mountains. Gus was able to take his Dall sheep from the Alaska Range in September 2002. 1 month later, in October 2002, he got his stone sheep from British Columbia's Musquat Drainage. Using archery equipment, Gus arrowed a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in the Canmore Bow Zone of Alberta in December 2013. We now come to number 1852, Timothy Draper of Bethel, Connecticut. Tim completed his Grand Slam with a Desert Bighorn on the Seri Indian Reservation of Sonora, Mexico in March 2012. Tim started his quest with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Hells Canyon, Idaho in October 2009. Then in August 2011, Tim took a Dall sheep from the Brooks Range of Alaska. On top of the 4 rams mentioned, we'd like to point out that he's taken a California Bighorn from British Columbia in August 2012. Tim also has a Fannin sheep from the Yukon taken in August 2013. Many GSCL members do go on to take the other 2 possibilities available to them. Alan Finley of Flint, Texas became documented Grand Slammer number 1853 after registering a Dall sheep taken from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT in September 2014. Alan's first ram was a stone sheep from British Columbia, taken in August 2010. In April 2011, Alan got his Desert Bighorn on Carmen Island, Mexico, and then 6 months later, in October 2011, he added his Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Alberta. Over a period of 17 years, William H. Baxter was able to collect the 4 sheep which qualified him for Grand Slam number 1856. William took his first ram, a Dall, in July 1997 while hunting in NWT. In August 1999, William got his stone ram in British Columbia. A Rocky Mountain Bighorn was next for William, and he took it in September 2001 from Alberta. On the 8th day of hunting in western Colorado, William was able to connect with his Desert Bighorn, which completed his Grand Slam in November 2014. Very few people are fortunate enough to hunt a desert sheep in Colorado. In November 2014, Dave Turchansky of Charlie Lake, British Columbia, completed his Super Slam of North American Big Game and at the same time Grand Slam number 1859. On Thursday night, we honored Dave for his Super Slam, but of course tonight, it's Grand Slam night for him. By the way, the ram that completed both slams was a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from his home province. Along the way to his Grand Slam, Dave got a stone sheep, also from his home province of BC. In October 1998, a Dall ram from the Yukon in August 2006, and a Tiburon Island, Mexico desert sheep in January 2012. On top of these 4 rams, Dave has also taken a Fannin sheep in the Yukon in August 2013. It was with a bow and 4 arrows that Edward Ned Greer of Council Bluffs, Iowa, took 4 rams that qualified him for Grand Slam number 1861. Ned's first ram arrowed was a beautiful NWT Dall sheep, taken from August 2004. In January 2010, Ned took a Desert Bighorn from South Baja. After a total of 50 days hunting for stone sheep, Ned finally connected on a very dark British Columbia ram in September 2010. And finally, in November 2014, Ned qualified for his Grand Slam with a Bighorn taken in the Canmore Bow Zone of Alberta. Thomas Limmerholtz of Germany has traveled a long way to be with us tonight to be recognized as Grand Slammer number 1863. It all began for Thomas with an Alaskan Dall in 1991. He waited several years but traveled back to western North America to get his Desert Bighorn on Carmen Island in 2010. He came back the very next year to get a Nebraska Rocky Mountain Bighorn in December 2011. The stage was then set as a 3/4 slammer, and Thomas went to British Columbia in August 2014 to get a fantastic stone sheep. Thomas becomes only the 3rd resident of Germany to document a Grand Slam. Grand Slam number 1865 was assigned to Kirk Warner of Pinedale, California. He completed that Grand Slam with a Baja Desert Ram on Christmas Eve 2014. Kirk's first ram was a Dall from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT in July 2006. In October 2008, Kirk added his Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Alberta. The stone sheep Kirk took was from the Yukon during August 2009. Richard Allen McGifford of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, completed Grand Slam number 1867 with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Wyoming. Allen took that ram in October 2014. Along the way, he got an Alaska Dall in 2000, a stone sheep from British Columbia in September 2003, and a Texas Desert Bighorn in April 2011. From right here in Reno, Nevada, you'll see Steve Robinson, who's been permanently assigned Grand Slam number 1868 after documenting a Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken from Alberta in September 2014. Steve's Dall sheep came from the Mackenzie Mountains of NWT in August 2011. In December 2012, Steve took a home state Desert Bighorn from the McCullough Mountains of Nevada. A beautiful dark stone sheep was taken by Steve in August 2013 in British Columbia. That concludes this group of Grand Slammers. Let's give everyone in this group a big hand. Tom Pinello Jr. of Colorado held the record as being the oldest person to ever complete a first Grand Slam. Tom won a desert sheep hunt on GSCO's Raffle-Rama in 2010 and went on to Sonora shortly after the convention to complete Grand Slam number 1576 at age 80. Well, Tom's record no longer stands because tonight it gives us great pleasure to recognize Joe Makula of Cassadaga, New York for Grand Slam number 1828. Joe turned 85 years old on February 9, 2014, and soon afterward took a desert sheep to complete his long-sought-after Grand Slam. Backing up a bit, we find Joe's first 3 rams to be a stone from 1977, a Dall from 1982, and a Wyoming Bighorn from 1989. Joe's never missed a GSCO convention or any of the 3/4 slam raffles. His son Joe Jr. reported that after the 2013 convention, his dad was a bit discouraged and said he probably wouldn't come back for 2014. Well, Joe Jr. encouraged his dad, and sure enough, Joe was back for our 2014 convention. Joe was a bidder for a couple of the Desert Sheep Hunt auction items, but didn't get them, and neither was he lucky enough to win one of the raffles. However, a representative from Sonora Darkhorn Adventures was in the room and came to Joe's table during the Saturday night banquet and offered him a cancellation hunt. again with a little encouragement from Joe Jr. They were both in Sonora a short time later in March 2014. Sonora Darkhorn lined Joe up with well-known outfitter Martin Leon, and you'll be seeing a little bit of that very exciting moment on the screen here.
You got it. I heard it hit.
Jack, get another shot.
No.
He's
done.
done.
No.
He's done.
He's done. Joe, you got him, baby! 13.
I gotta give you a kiss.
I got it.
I don't see this very often.
I got it.
Realizing that Joe was 85 at the time, you surely realized the emotion of that moment when he made that culminating 280-yard shot to finish his Grand Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join with us to honor one of GSCO's most faithful supporters dating all the way back to 1982, Joe Makula. That completes our Grand Slam Awards for 2015. Once again, let's give a big round of applause for all of these hunters. The Grand Slam of North American Wild Sheep is in fact a lifetime achievement. Many hunters choose to take only the 4 rams of a Grand Slam in a lifetime and move on to other big game hunting. However, there are many whose sheep fever continues to draw them to the mountains. Sometimes it's just to hunt 1 or 2 additional rams, but there are those who desire to experience the thrill of hunting all the North American wild sheep all over again. In due course, naturally, those people complete a second or third and sometimes even more Grand Slams. Tonight we have a few people who have documented multiple Grand Slams. We want to recognize these individuals as a group, so please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. So as your name is called, please make your way to the stage. Even though Gary Rigotti of Eagle Point, Oregon has taken 38 different species of international wild sheep with a total of 50 rams, he has not forgotten the majestic rams that live here on the North American continent. We're honoring Gary tonight for his second Grand Slam, which consists of a 1995 doll from Alaska, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn taken in Utah during 1998, a Fannin from the Yukon taken in 2009, and a Desert Bighorn taken from Sonora, Mexico in 2013. On top of these 4 rams, Gary added another doll sheep from the Yukon in 2010 and a Desert Bighorn from South Baja in 2014. Jim C. Lake of Colorado completed his first Grand Slam, number 1538, back in December 2009. Jim decided to document his second Grand Slam after taking a beautiful Fannin ram in the Ogilvie Mountains of the Yukon in August 2014. Leading up to this second Grand Slam, Jim had taken a doll sheep in NWT in July 1998, a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from his home state of Colorado in September 2007, and a South Baja Desert Ram in March 2013, which made the cover of the first issue of SlamQuest. William Bill Smith from Cody, Wyoming, started working on his second Grand Slam with a stone sheep from British Columbia in 1981. Bill's second doll was taken in the Yukon in 1996. His Rocky Mountain Bighorn came on a self-guided hunt in Wyoming's Area 5 during 2012 and got him to a second 3/4 slam. Then on November 25, 2014, Bill filled his Desert Bighorn tag in the Sheep Range of Nevada. that put him on the permanent list with a second Grand Slam. Of special note, Bill completed his first Grand Slam in 1999, but he decided to wait 14 years to document it until his lovely wife Sue completed her own Grand Slam. For our purposes here tonight, we'll use the sheep that Bill's counting for his second Grand Slam. Ed Yates of Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, documented his third Grand Slam in October 2014 after taking a Rocky Mountain Bighorn from Alberta. Ed's first ram toward this third slam was a Dall sheep from the Yukon, taken in August 2013. 1 month later, in September 2013, Ed added his stone sheep in British Columbia. Ed's third Desert Bighorn was of the Weemsey category, and he took it on Carmen Island, Mexico in May 2014. Ed was high bidder for that opportunity at our 2014 convention. Not only has Ed taken 12 North American rams to achieve this third slam, but he has 32 different species of wild sheep with a grand total of 49 rams. Ralph Adams is only the third person to document 7 or more Grand Slams. Ralph accomplished his 7th Grand Slam in South Baja with a Desert Bighorn taken in December 2014. Prior to this hunt, Ralph took a Rocky Mountain Bighorn with the Blackfeet tribe in 2014. Ralph's 7th stone was taken in the Yukon during 2012, and his Dall sheep came from NWT in 2010. That completes our multiple Grand Slammers for this year. Again, please give them all a big round of applause. We now come to another special part of our Grand Slam program. Beginning with our first convention in 2005, we've tried to recognize all those who have taken a Grand Slam of North American wild sheep with bow and arrow. To date, there have been only 60 documented archery Grand Slams. That small number should give some indication of the difficulty of this amazing feat. We'll now move on to some of these dedicated individuals who've documented the archery Grand Slam milestone. So please hold your applause until everyone in this group has been introduced. As your name is called, please make your way to the stage. Archery Grand Slam number 56 belongs to Mark Cupatilli of San Antonio, Texas. The first ram for Mark was a Dall sheep taken in 2008. Next was the stone sheep that he arrowed in 2010. Mark hunted in Alberta's bow zone and was able to get a bighorn in late 2011. A plan came together in March 2014 when Mark collected his Desert Bighorn in South Baja, Mexico to qualify for one of the very few archery Grand Slams. Well, we get to call Rebecca Francis of Evanston, Wyoming back to the stage again. You're going to see the 4 rams on the screen that qualified her for her Grand Slam number 1830. Those same 4 rams qualify Rebecca as Archery Grand Slammer number 58. However, she's also Lady Archery Grand Slammer number 2. Rebecca falls in as only the second woman to ever be designated in this way. She follows only Anna Voracek of Alaska in that regard. What an amazing club of only 2 members. Will there be more? We shall see, as it's quite evident that more women are hunting and bow hunting. Hudsonville, Michigan's Ed DeYoung holds Archery Grand Slam number 59. Ed's first ram was a stone sheep that he arrowed in August 2000 in the Yukon. Ed hunted in Alberta's bow zone in November 2008 and was able to get his bighorn. Ed took his archery Dall sheep in NWT, and his final ram was a Desert Bighorn taken on Carmen Island, Mexico in October 2014. Edward Ned Greer of Council Bluffs, Iowa, qualified for Archery Grand Slam number 60 by hunting where so many bow hunters do. Ned hunted in Alberta's Canmore Bow Zone in November 2014 and was able to collect his Rocky Mountain Bighorn. Ned started his Archery Grand Slam quest with a Dall sheep from NWT in August 2004. Ned's second ram was a Desert Bighorn from South Baja, Mexico in January 2010. Ned became an Archery 3/4 slammer with a very hard-won stone sheep taken in British Columbia during September 2010. Jack Frost of Anchorage, Alaska should be no stranger to any of you, especially archery hunters. Jack has the distinction of holding Grand Slam number 379 and Archery Grand Slam number 1 which he completed with a Desert Bighorn in October 1985. Jack has also taken the Super Slam of North American big game with his bow. Tonight, we'd like to honor Jack for his second archery Grand Slam. Jack's first ram toward this goal was the September 1992 Dall sheep taken on a self-guided hunt in his home state of Alaska. Jack added his stone sheep in August 1999 while hunting in British Columbia. In October 2010, Jack hunted on Carmen Island, Mexico to arrow a fine Desert Bighorn. Now that Jack was at the three-quarter slam level, needing only a bighorn, he couldn't resist adding the California subspecies. He hunted in BC in October 2014 to get the job done. That completes all of our Grand Slam awards for 2015. It's been quite an honor to recognize so many for this accomplishment. Remember that we started as the Grand Slam Club, and we never want to stray very far from our roots. We believe tonight's Grand Slam awards prove that to be a fact. Join with us once again as we honor all Grand Slammers, past and present, with a huge round of applause.